Okay, YouTubers, this is the Angry Prepper. Thank you for watching the Angry Truth channel. So today's video, guys, we're going to talk about Kath Hochul, the governor of New York State, stating that the Supreme Court stripped her of her rights to protect New Yorkers in regards to the reversal of the way New York processes concealed carry permits. I don't know. It seems like, guys, again, with politicians, especially these Democrats, they just seem to say the stupidest things every day. Every day they're on a mission to see how much more stupider they can get. That being said, guys, the fact that she formed her lips to say that the the United States Supreme Court stripped her of her rights to protect New Yorkers from gun violence. She makes it seem like, guys, that the Supreme Court voting in the Second Amendment's favor of having due process, if you will, on who can carry and who can't, as opposed to a blanket no one can carry, or rather a small percentage of people can carry. Now, here in New York City, to carry, you have to have a business that makes $5,000 a day, and you have to move that cash or something to that effect. And then and only then do you get a carry permit here in New York City. So her response is more to New York City's concealed carry permit process being reversed or struck down, if you will, because the process here was bullshit. It was like 1% of New York City population can go for a full carry permit, whereas everyone else, you can go fuck yourself. Now, with her saying, guys, that the Supreme Court stripped her of her rights to protect New Yorkers, let me key this asshole in, but bitch, you ain't protecting shit. You and Eric Adams have made matters worse, or rather de Blasio, because it started with him. Kath Hochul and Bill de Blasio made everything worse for New York City and state. Crime has skyrocketed exponentially because of the whole bail reform. The cash bail, the ending of cash bail. All of that, guys, made the city worse. Not the Supreme Court turning over a law that's been in existence here in New York City, that is, for over 100 years. That's not the reason why crime spiked. Crime was spiking before the Supreme Court even mentioned anything about New York City's concealed carry process. Crime was already spiking. She seems to think that now that this is reversed, that it's going to be the Wild West. Not exactly true. Not even close. You still have to go through a process here in New York City to get a full carry. And to boot, the worst part about it is, I just found out about this, they look at your social media. So again, a lot of us are probably going to have problems regardless, but nonetheless, the process is going to be a little more favorable, if you will, for those of us looking to carry. Now, she also said that the Supreme Court made a negligent decision in striking down New York City's concealed carry process. Now, this is basically all New York City, guys, more than it is New York State. New York State and other counties in upstate New York, if you will, you have an easier time getting a full carry or a carry period. Way easier. Here in New York City, the process, if you will, is unfair. So with that being said, guys, the fact that the Supreme Court reversed it, this is what she's mad about. Now, to me, it sounds like her ego is bruised more than anything. She's not protecting the public. You can't protect the public when you have bail reform and you end cash bail. And then you see crime skyrocketing and you do nothing about it. But this is where she drops the hammer on the Supreme Court. Now, in her many speeches in regards to gun control, she keeps bringing up the Buffalo shooting. All right, 10 people died in the Buffalo shooting. 10. And it was 10 black people because the kid that did it was a racist, clearly. I'm not going to argue that. What I'm going to argue that you're worried about 10 folks that died at the hands of a white man. Never mind the 20, 30, 40 people every week that die at the hands of another black man here in New York City alone. We're not even talking about Chicago, Detroit, LA. We're not talking about any of those places. We're talking about New York City alone. If you want to protect New Yorkers, then you know how you protect them? You give them the ability to carry so that they can defend for themselves. That's how you protect New Yorkers. That's how you protect people. As a political leader, that's how you do it. Now, In a video, guys, she states, and I'm going to put the link to the video below, but she states, you know what? Just watch the video for yourself.
Shocking. Absolutely shocking. That they have taken away our right to have reasonable restrictions. We can have restrictions on speech. You can't yell fire in a crowded theater. But somehow there's no restrictions allowed on the Second Amendment.
Now, guys, as you can see, she's more concerned about free speech being restricted, and the Second Amendment should be restricted. She goes, how could we have restrictions on free speech but not the Second Amendment? That right there, guys, tells you exactly who the fuck she is. She is not a friend of this country. She's not a friend of this state. She's not a friend of the planet. She is a authoritarian politician. She wants more restrictions on the Second Amendment. That's all that means when she said that. Now, here is the other clip, guys, where she states her power was stripped away from her.
They decided to strip away the rights of a governor to protect her citizens from gun violence by striking down a 100-year-old law that limits who can carry concealed weapons.
Now, as you can see, it was almost like it was the woe is me party, right, at that point, right? Now, I'm going to put the full video in the description section below again. You guys take a look at the whole thing so that you know that I'm not cutting shit out to benefit my video. Look at it for yourself. Look at the communistic statements she makes in this video. And it's pretty much the first, 5 minutes of the video. You don't have to watch the full 47. The first 5 minutes, guys, she says it all right there. Keep in mind, guys, she brings up gun violence, but she never once brings up the criminals in the city who are enacting this gun violence, who are committing this gun violence, who are not following gun laws. These guys out here, guys, are not by any means going to see if they can get a concealed carry. They're not going into the store legally to buy one. They're buying it off the streets. She never once mentions that. Again, guys, these politicians will pick and choose what they want. How can an American or New Yorker defend themselves? You let them have a gun, because sorry to say, guys, cops are not cutting it anymore. They're just not. They actually never have. Cops are always, for the most part, an afterthought. But in this specific case where we're seeing crime skyrocket, guys, the only way a citizen can defend themselves now is with a firearm. Now, with that being said, guys, you need proper training of that firearm. You can't just go to a store, get a permit, get a gun, and haphazardly start shooting at people. You need to learn how to shoot, especially when you live in a city like New York. So you need to have, and I hate to say this, specialized training for this kind of environment. If you live in a home on 40 acres, then you could fucking just shoot at anything. You're not going to hit anyone. But here in the city, guys, you have thin walls, you have glass windows, you got all kinds of, you got everyone stacked on top of everyone here in the city. You got to learn how to shoot, and you have to also know when to shoot. When that decision comes down to you shooting. It's almost like being trained to be a cop, but I would take the training to the next level. I would go to Sig Sauer, or if Blackwater's still around, they're not around, but I think they had a subsidiary that used to be them, that's now a different name, whatever. My point is, take a serious gun course. And you're not going to take it here in New York City. You're going to have to take it somewhere out of state, unfortunately. She also, guys, she never, ever brings up the fact that criminals have zero regard for life. So they don't follow those rules, like I was saying before. They do what they want to do because no one is stopping them. Again, guys, she picks and chooses the battle that she wants, and she's using the Buffalo incident through and through. She uses a couple other mass shooting incidents as well, but she uses Buffalo's incidents and she's hanging on to that shit like a crutch. It's done. It's gone. The kid is in jail. He's going to jail for a very long time. If we had a death penalty in this fucking state, he'd be sitting in a fucking chair. But because of liberals, we don't have the death penalty anymore. He should absolutely be sitting in a chair. Nonetheless, guys, the lack of responsibility on these politician part of why crime is running so rampant. The fact that we don't have the death penalty and many other fucking ways to make criminals' lives harder. We don't have any of that enacted anymore, or less of it enacted, if you will, or implemented, sorry. This is why criminals are running rampant. So again, guys, Kathy Hochul is a piece of shit, and I really do hope she gets ass cancer one day. I really fucking do. Because she is the enemy of New Yorkers, not the friend. She's not the champion. She's a fucking wicked asshole. She goes right up there with Bill de Blasio, Joe Biden, Eric Adams, and that idiot for fucking vice president. Can't ever, whatever her name, Harris, Kamala fucking Harris. She goes right up there with all of those people who are hell-bent on destroying this country. They are actually now, guys, they're going out of their way to destroy this country. All right, guys, other than that, this is The Angry Prepper. Thank you for watching the Angry Truth channel.